What's up, YouTube? This is YugiohTube bringing you a video about how I've been helping a new friend I've made with his Infernity deck. He's actually going to YCS in Toronto, and he wanted my aid. He wanted my support in being able to do his very best with Infernity. And since I won't be able to go, I was very excited to know that someone is actually going to the YCS and is willing to take whatever I tell them, whatever I suggest to them, and actually accept it because they agree that my concepts, my ideas, they're not entirely bullshit. So he's been testing something I gave him. This is the main deck that he'll be using. Side decks and extra decks are always personal. They're always, to some extent, the side deck mostly is entirely personal. It's whatever you like to play, whatever you like to do. And the extra deck is, to an extent, also personal because some people like to run 2 lava chain and stuff like that. He's actually, that's the screenshot. This is his DN name, and his real name himself is Rory Miracle. Yeah, so you see that he has the same main deck build as I do, and the only thing that's different is some of his side deck, and in his extra deck he has 2 lava chain. So he also runs a fusion. For instance, fusion that's level 3. So other than that, the main deck is with the concept of having Infernity Archer to special summon Dark Gruffer, and Infernity Archer also allows for faster OTKs. Drag Down is quite the irritating card, pisses off almost everybody, and it allows you to go off with Lava Chain if you stack an Archfiend to the top of the deck, and then activate Drag Down. You discard whatever you want to discard, hopefully something that belongs in the graveyard. You get to look at your opponent's hand, get rid of their Veiler or anything else that will ruin their combos, and then top deck your Archfiend, and you won't go -1 because you search for the Archfiend. And that search is usually a mega plus as it is, if you know anything about Infinities. Another good tech was the Monster Gate for similar reasons. You can stack that Archfiend and then Monster Gate anything, and you could probably revive whatever you attributed with Necromancer anyway, so you'll never go minus with that either. The Transmodify one was just, we only played one Transmodify because this isn't a Transmodify deck. It's for Transmodify to be really successful, you would have to run Tour Guides as well. But one Transmodify is nice because, especially in his build where he has a fusion that's level 3, sadly it's not Fiend, so it won't work. Never mind that. Yeah, they don't have any Fiend fusions that are level 3 or level 4. But Transmodify is great only because, just in case they do Veiler the Necromancer or anything like that, you can easily just find a new out, send Necromancer to the graveyard, Transmodify, and just keep going with your combos and stuff. So it's really helpful. It's really nice, especially in mid game, late game. It works out really well. So I love the card. I actually really like it mostly because it's ultimate rare, so that's pretty hot. And yeah, so we're actually about to do a test duel against each other, and we're just gonna use the same deck on each other, and let's just see how that goes. So far in his testing, he's been extremely successful. He's been having great duels. I've been watching him. The only thing I've been able to beat him with is my own Blackwings, and only because Blackwings have Icarus and Delta Crow. So with the right timing, I'm able to beat him. But other than that, it's really difficult because once he goes off, there's very little I can do. The draw phase is very, very critical though. When he draws for turn, and that's when Icarus can go off and Delta Crow can go off and just ruin everything. Let's see what we get. Alright, so I drew an extremely slow hand where I actually can't do much. So, looks like he did too. Alright. The MST is very critical when you're facing Infinities. You just gotta save it for that launcher. He drew a reinforcements. I got too many dead cards here right now, so this is gonna be tough. Oh man, setting up his grave. He might have meant that he has a really good hand. Oh, okay. Too many monsters, maybe. Oh, no revival cards, okay. I mean, let's draw something. Draw a monster. Any monster. Okay, alright. I guess it's not too bad. Could be worse. I do have Dark Hole and you have Infernity Break. This might be game over though. Let's see, Lava Chain, set up the Necromancer, please. See, most people might actually think that it was a bad play on his side, you know, to blind MST and whatnot, but it's actually not, because you want to, even if it makes you go minus, you want to MST or whatever it takes to get rid of their MST, as he did. See, he MST'd my MST, and now I couldn't stop his launcher, so it worked out in his favor. There's nothing I can do about that anymore, and it's practically a wrap because of that. So now he's got it. He's probably gonna the Void Ogre Dragon because he searched an Infernity Break. So, oh god, right? He has to repeat with Mirage. Mirage is an amazing card because with 100 Eyes, one Mirage is able to search twice. So the two searches put in way too much work, and it's quite irritating. He's probably just gonna get 2 breaks. Just set up 2 breaks, and yeah. There's about 2 to 3 combos that are very powerful. You can either get a whole bunch of Infernity Breaks and set up Stardust and Void Ogre Dragon, or you could set up breaks and barriers, but mostly barriers, maybe just 1 break, and have Infernity Doom and Void Ogre Dragon. And Infernity Doom is amazing because of his destruction effect. It's so unnecessary, but he can destroy and burn. It does a lot. Let's see what I can get here. Okay. Okay, so Infernity Break, barrier. Break is so good. It's such a great combo ruiner. It fucks up everything. Oh Jesus. At least I have my break, so that's something. I drew too many dead cards. It was a horrible starting point, especially against an Infernity player. But I think I'm putting up a pretty nice fight. Okay, alright. Now I just gotta draw Armageddon Knight, Reinforcement of the Army, or Foolish Barrier. Don't be a monster. What is it? Necromancer? Ooh, okay. Not bad, not bad. Setting up the monsters. Top deck Necromancer, Archfiend. Reinforcement Army. Okay. Attack Avenger, Attack Avenger. Yes. It's probably got some. Making that comeback. See, you can already tell that when he already went off and I'm about to try and make a comeback. Like, you could tell this deck build is actually very competitive, and we're actually using the same exact build, just our side decks and main deck is different, but that's about it. You guys MST for this? Sadly, I can't do all 8,000 points of damage. That'd be pretty nice. Infernity breaks. I gotta get the barrier now. I need the barrier because I've already got enough breaks, and chances are he's gonna stop these attacks. No, he doesn't actually have anything, right? Yeah, he doesn't have. He has a card in hand, so he can't break a barrier. Yeah, it should be alright. Yes, okay. So my dead cards in early game actually ended up not being too bad compared to him eventually having dead cards in late game, because that's always gonna hurt. So in my side deck I have 3 Phoenix Chains, 2 Deck Devies, 2 Night Beam, 2 Twister, an Xyz Encore, 2 Deck Devi, the 1 Eradicator, Goals in Match, Heavy Slump, my favorite, and a Soul Drain. The Heavy Slump I've actually been able to use many times. It's great. It's for when you accept the Max C challenge. You let them draw as many as they want. You know, and eventually they'll draw a Veiler or something that'll stop you, but that's fine because you probably got your searches and whatever pluses you needed already. Then you Heavy Slump them on their draw, and they lose everything they drew. They lose their entire hand, and then they just draw 2 cards. It's amazing. They go so minus. It's probably the most minus they've ever gone in their entire life. The Phoenix Chains I feel are very necessary, especially for this format, because there are too many decks out there that have monster effects, and it's very, very powerful, very abusive. It's a threat. This is, let's see what else. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. This should be it. So I have to take out the drag downs for sure. And with the drag downs leaving, I have fewer ways to get rid of the archers, so I have to take out the archers. And this is what I'm going to put in, because that's all I'm afraid of from him. I'm afraid of his monster effects. I can Phoenix Chain him. and I can Phoenix Chain him on his jaw. Other than that, I also had to night beam and MST his barriers and shit. In our match right now, it doesn't even matter who wins right now because we both play in almost entirely similar ways. Our main decks are the same, and I'd actually personally be excited if he was able to win because that'd be great. His side deck is very interesting. He has the mirror forces because he likes that. Trap Trick's Trap Hole was actually a trap I pulled in one of my packs, and then I told him about it, and I was like, yo, this trap looks great because it's practically a free Divine Wrath. And it basically just says, if your opponent special summons a monster this turn and then activates its effect that same turn, you can negate it and then destroy it. So that works out great. On top of that, Trap Trick's Trap Hole is a normal trap, so it's not like it's overpowered because it can be stopped with, Trap Stun or any monster that can negate traps. I also spoke to him about 7 Tools and how 7 Tools was a top tier trap when Heavy was banned last format. So 7 Tools is great because it was mostly used to stop your opponent's 7 Tools and Trap Stun. Trap Stun was a huge thing because people were into using Glad Beast. People had other decks like even Black Wings were using their own Trap Stun. It was great because Trap Stun into any Black Rose or whatever was amazing. Cold Wave had just gotten banned, so everyone was into Trap Stun, and there was no Heavy. Trap Stun can lead into a lot of plays, so it's important to have that 7 Tools. And on top of that, it's a trap format. Your opponent is gonna have some back row to ruin your combos, regardless of whatever they're playing. So it works out. 7 Tools is a great trap. The Mirror Force helps him a lot, and he uses 2 Exceeds Encores because a lot of decks are entirely based off of Exceeding, and if you can get rid of the Exceed and bring back their monsters 1 level lower, then they usually can't use it for anything, at least not anything important. Like for example, if your opponent is playing Evil Swarm and they make an Ophion, and assuming they don't have any pandemics yet, you can Exceed Encore the Ophion, and they'll get back their 2 materials, but they'll both be level 3 now. So the most important thing they can make is either whatever they'll make won't search in a pandemic, and it won't be able to do too much damage to you. So it's all good. And anything is better than having to face an Ophion because it stops you from special summoning big monsters. So as we can see, he's gone pretty off. The only thing I have against him right now is the compulsory, and it's gonna be tough because I can't even set it. He's gonna MST the compulsory. That's all I can do. So I'm gonna Infernity break something. Yeah, there you go. Infernity break the trap. He's probably not gonna draw a monster, I hope, so he won't be able to king me. Let's see what he does. Excuse me. Okay, so I whooped out one of the Infernity breaks. Try and draw out everything I can. Alright, now we can try things. Set. Gotta make him. he's gonna bury the dark hole, so he's got everything. Phoenix Chain and Compulsory are about to put in some amazing moves right now on your draw. See, as soon as he draws for a turn, I'm about to so I've got him on somewhat of a lockdown. I mean, he can still Infernity break the Phoenix Chain to free his Doom Dragon. Let's see what he's got. Got rid of the Void Ogre, so that's good. See, this is why Compulsory is at 1, because 3 in a format with no Heavy Storm, as I mentioned in my deck list, ban list video on my channel. Without a Heavy Storm, if everyone just ran 3 Compulsory 2 bottomless, that would be a little too much. Alright, so looks like I might be able to Dark Hole, I'm not sure. Can I tap deck an Archfiend? No. Okay. Great. Dark Hole Barrier. Oh, he's got the Archfiend tap deck, so that's game. Okay, so now that I'm going first, I can consider these, but I feel like for a first turn, this is already a good enough hand, and I like the Phoenix Chains for a first turn. I'm gonna take out, modify these guys for these guys. I don't want any Necromancer bullshit, any Mirage bullshit, and I can get rid of a lot of shit in his opening hand. Okay, this is good enough. I'm gonna stack an Archfiend with Lava Chain. Actually, I'll stack a Necromancer with Lava Chain. I'm stacking the Necromancer because I know he's not gonna have any effect veilers, the most a max an Infernity deck might have is Max C or Diddy Crow, but they're not gonna have Veilers. I mean, if your opponent is an Infernity player with Veilers, you should probably just not worry about shit and win, because they probably suck. I didn't make any synchros, but I do have an amazing back row that I'm actually pretty happy with. But it is clogged, so I have to use something. And I can't. Oh, that was a mistake. I should have gotten an Infernity break. That's gonna be a problem. Let's see what he's got. I didn't realize I didn't have it. I didn't realize that I already had 2 barriers, so I should have searched a break in the very last part. I'm just gonna Dark Hole. I mean, it's better than having a dead field. I feel like this might be actually a clogged Archer. Not sure. Archer is great because he's rarely ever clogged. He can easily tribute summon the Archer, and he can also quite easily just get rid of, what do you call it? Get rid of the Archer with Stygian, special summon it, and you can always instant fusion something and tribute that. This is gonna be bad. Let's see, he's got Infernity Doom Dragon. Actually, no, you can just make a Void Ogre and a Stardust and just have his Dark Refer. Oh, okay, well, yeah, that's fusion too. Yeah, because you can make a Void Ogre and then a Stardust with the Dark Refer and leave an Infernity Archfiend on the field. So you'd have all the protection while having a face-up Infernity. So yeah, there you have it. Now there's not much I can draw. I'll use a Dark Hole. Couldn't activate that. I could have deck devied if I really wanted to. I could have deck devied. I could have sent an Archer to the grave and have Necromancer bring out Archer. Yep, same as that plays. This is great. I could have just gotten rid of my hand cloud last turn. I should have Dark Hold his shit. He had too many. I knew he had Necromancer. I should have Dark Hold it, and then just a Lure of Darkness and get rid of everything. Even if I drew a Dark, it'd be fine because I just set it. I can set the 1-for-1 and whatever else. Oof. This would be a problem. See, that's one thing. Okay. Another launcher, and with 2 Necromancers, you can recycle. See, Infernities have no draw power whatsoever, but their searching capabilities are so strong that it makes up for it. people hate playing against Infernity because of this, and now I get to feel how it feels. You just sit there and watch them playing with themselves, but you have to remember that this is actually a deck that requires a lot of skill. You actually can't play Infernities if you're not a skilled player. Think about it, you have to play without a hand the entire time. You have to know everything about your deck inside and out really well, because you don't know when to set everything or not. And well, with now heavy being gone, it's just, you just set everything whenever you feel like it. With what combos you want to go off with, what things you want to synchro for. There's a lot of thinking involved. Sometimes there was one tournament I went to where I actually ended up having a headache afterwards because there was so much thinking involved. It was pretty despicable. Oh, look who decides to pop up. Well, I gotta get rid of something, so boom. Avoid over negate or Stardust negate. Stardust should negate because, okay. Avoid over, sure. It's a low barrier, okay. Alright, got rid of one barrier. He's got another one. Let's see. If he doesn't negate this, he'll bury it. He knows better. And that's that. He wins. So I'm gonna put this video up, and you guys can see, you know, what I have to say about Infernity, the build, the main deck, and I'm gonna talk more later on about how to side, what to side, how to side against certain opponents, stuff like that. So keep an eye out for it, and thank you for watching.